Well, this is Jim Wonderman. I'm the president and CEO of the Bay Area Council. I asked to have this press conference, and I appreciate members of the media coming here today, and I know we have a number of you who couldn't make it in person but are here on the phone, because we have an announcement to make about the future of the Repair California campaign. It isn't the announcement I'd like to be making, but it is the one we do need to make today. And I didn't want to just put out a press release and announce it that way and sort of leave you guessing as to what we might have really meant. So I particularly wanted to be here to answer questions that the media would have about this effort, because I think it really was a historic and important effort, and it doesn't necessarily end here. But we certainly, we're going to announce today that we're going to take a hiatus on this issue, specifically due to the fact that we were not able to raise the amount of money that we needed to put two ballot measures on, a constitutional amendment and an initiative on the ballot. We would have needed to do that. We would have needed to collect almost 2 million signatures by the end of April, and the money basically ran out. We did have many generous contributions. Actually, the momentum for the fundraising was improving, but we ran into a situation where we didn't have the money in the bank, and we would have had to sharply increase our expenditures over the next couple of weeks and take on a liability. I, as the executive director of a business association, I didn't feel that's right, that we have people working for us who end up not getting paid and so forth, and sort of bet on the comp. So as hard as this is for me to do, I felt it was the appropriate thing at this point to say, look, let's not do this. And unless a major funder or two were to come in the next couple of weeks, we created quite a, thanks to Clint Riley's work, we actually put together a great campaign team, and we had hundreds of people working around the state to help people sign the initiatives, and people were running to sign the initiatives for the Constitutional Convention, but unfortunately we couldn't keep them out there. So I want to thank him and John and the team of Repair California for the work that they did. You don't get to put initiatives on the ballot in California without real money, and the money really never showed up. I feel very, very pleased with this accomplishment, although I have to say, I'm very sad that we have to call it quits as a result of the financial situation.
Okay, so thank you, and again, I'm disappointed to be having this part of the conversation today, but I'm still excited about the importance and the need for reform in the state of California. The challenge has been that citizen involvement has not been matched by the financial contribution to make it work. And we're not going to go ahead of those financial contributions and ask people to go out and give their lives and their time if we don't have the resources to do it. And so as a result, we've decided to press the pause button. We're not stopping the restart. We're pressing the pause.
Define what's happening in Sacramento. Frankly, it's not much different in Washington. It's got to stop. We need to call it quits on that and figure out a better way. Because as Lenny says, it's our kids, our grandkids, and their kids who are going to suffer the consequences if we can't get this right. There's no reason the government can't perform better than this. And we need to put the pressure on. Now, we won't have the Constitutional Convention effort as a lever for that. So we're going to have to redouble our efforts, not just our group, but many groups, to focus on the legislature itself, on candidacies, on special interest groups, and to continue to have the media as a partner to explain what's going on out there and how it needs to be better.
I'd say that there's hundreds of millions of dollars flowing right now in this election cycle in California for the gubernatorial election, for the other ballot measures that are out there. And it's a potential sign of our dysfunction in California that we weren't able to raise as a nonpartisan, nonprofit effort, that we weren't able to raise a relatively small, a relative pittance actually, compared to what the independent expenditure campaigns, et cetera, will be raising this year. And so,
in any other environment, I would love to support this, but my company has to declare a loss for the first time in its history. Or we just laid off 200 people. How can I explain to my employees that we're going to make a $100,000 contribution to this effort, while people are out on the street? And I hear that, and it's part of the reason that we're here having to hold a constitutional convention is that California is slipping on a relative basis economically, but it's the same reason we couldn't fund the campaign.
So we just didn't come up with it, you know, I mean, bottom line, we thought we could, people said they would, it didn't happen.